Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. This is going to be a quick how-to video, a little bit something different, but I'm going to show how I light my smoker and talk about some of the things I found that works pretty good as far as fuel and keeping them to stay lit, that method I use. And also all the cool beekeepers on YouTube have done this video and I haven't done one, so I need to get with the times. So let's get started. Okay, I keep my smoker down here in the tractor shed, down close to the bees, and when I'm done with it in the evening, there'll usually be some fuel still in it and it'll still be smoking a little bit. So I stick something in the end there to plug it up so it will put the fire out inside there. This is a Swiffer pad, which if you're a beekeeper, you know Swiffer pads are good for trapping small hive beetles. So I got a box of Swiffer pads laying in there, so it's good for this as well. So that shuts off the oxygen flow. Be sure it's standing straight up. If you put it on its side, it can still breathe through the little vent hole down here where your bellows pushes into it. So leave it sitting straight up. Be sure you set it on something that if it gets red hot, it won't catch on fire. So I leave mine down here in the dirt. Another thing I do that's maybe unique, I don't know. But when I'm using my smoker, when I've got it lit, when I put the lid on, I don't push my lid down all the way. I put it right there. And the reason is, over time, this creosote builds up in there. You see, around this rim. And it will actually, this stuff gets hot, sticky. It's like tar. So when it cools off, it's like tar. It gets hard. So you won't be able to get your lid off next time you want to light it. You'll have to heat it with a torch or something hot just to get your lid off. So if you ever see a beekeeper in this little tab here, which they don't make them worth a crap anymore, I can bend it pretty easy. But when they're bent up like that, that means their thing was stuck one time. You can make fun of them. Okay, let's get this sucker lit. So as you saw, I had all this fuel here left from last time I used it, so that's a good start. I have fuel down low in here. It's flammable still, it's not ash, and I can burn it. If you just set this down and don't plug the lid, this will all be ash next time you want to use it. So that's one of the reasons I do that, and it saves on fuel. So I use a little torch, a little Bernzomatic torch. These seem to do the best as far as maintaining their spark and lighting with the igniter. I also have like a welding torch lighter down there for when it does quit, because this is a new one. The old one I had to use that. So what I do, get me a good flame going here, and I just put it in there on that leftover fuel and let it get going good. So the key to a good smoker start is a good hot bed of, I wouldn't say coals, but you know, hot embers in there. And what I'm using is pine straw. After it gets going good, kill your torch and don't catch your barn on fire. And as you can see, it's got a good ring of hot all the way around deep inside there. So I'm going to let this burn pretty good. And also have a secret weapon here I get from my neighbor's driveway. Pine cones. These have pine oil in them and they smoke really good. And once they get going, they won't go out. So I put one in there, maybe two. Looks like I'm going to do one because that was pretty good size. And so I go to a state park where there's a bunch of pine trees, and I show up with 2 5-gallon buckets and 2 rakes. And I rake me up a little pile, and I grab them with both of my rakes together in a big thing like that. And I can have 2 buckets filled in about 5 minutes. And this will last me 2 buckets will last me over a year. In fact, I gathered these last year. So once that's nice and hot, I like to blow flames on my pine cone for a little bit. And be careful, you'll have some hot coals come out of there. I just had one land on my arm. So my pine cone is flaming. So now I kind of wad this up and drop it in there. And you can, if it's not quite burning good yet, give that a lot of air right there. And that's going to catch the bottom of this on fire. And I keep a little 2x2 block to push it down in here. So once you get it like this, it's going to stay lit. You have to do a couple more things though. And this is a little bit damp because we've been getting a lot of rain. So now, once you get to this point, you really want it smoking a little more than that. I think this is damp and that's why it's not smoking real good. You want to start packing it down tight because that's going to keep it lit for a long time. So you can just let it sit, and when you go to grab it, it'll still be lit. You give it a couple of puffs and it maintains those coals in there. There we go, that's what you want it to look like. This stuff is damp, that's what's wrong. Normally it wouldn't have taken that long. So you want to push this in there, get it packed. And I just pack it with my 2x2. So the tightness is what makes it stay lit for a long time and not go out on you. If you just have it sitting in there loose, it won't stay lit. Yeah, we got us a nice one now. So put one more little handful of, see if I can find some dryer. Got my pine straw, get it in there. So that, in this size of smoker, that'll last at least 2 hours. And then when you're done, like I said, you can put the something in the end of it to cut off the oxygen, and you'll have a nice base to start with the next time. So if you don't have that and you're starting from a fresh smoker that's cleaned out, you can use a little bit of newspaper to get it started. Light your newspaper, then sprinkle in about that much pine straw. Hit it with your torch, and like I did before when I was lighting this one, just sit there and pump the air to it until it gets going good. And if you don't have a pine cone, that's okay. Just use all pine straw. That's fine. But that pine cone, man, it makes some good smoke, and it also helps keep it lit. So then we'll put our lid on. Get these little stragglers out of the way. And just get it down to the edge so you can get it open next time. And there you have it. I've been looking for a radioactive sticker I want to put on mine. Some people think it's cool to put stickers and stuff on your smoker. I want to be cool, you know, like everybody else. So that's it. That's how I light my smoker. If you got any tips or you want to help people out, and put comments down below, go ahead. Appreciate you watching. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead if you would. We'll catch you on the next beekeeping video.